Hey guys, what's up? Hitmarthrower here, and welcome to the last of Mount Battle, the last 20 floors, 81 through 100. And I actually did live commentary on the last one, so I'm only going to be commentating post 81 through 99. The last one we'll have actual commentary for. Anyway, we have reached the third set. I mean, if you wanted to divide them evenly, you could have, but I did 1 through 50 because they would take much less time. As you can see, this is still going to be about 25 minutes. Well, you'll see it whenever you get there. But it's going to be about 25 minutes of the rest of the floors, because this is actually the point where you can see by levels, you're not going to be in trouble, but you are going to actually have to think about who you're sending into what battle. So this first battle had all flying types except for one, which was his Zangoose. Zangoose is normal. The rest of them were flying. His Ninjask was bug flying. So this is actually the point where you kind of want to start noticing what I switch out for. If you're lower level than mine or about on par. Like, if you're much higher than this, then don't worry about it. If you're like 80s, then don't worry about it. But if you're, you know, somewhere on mine, or if you're even lower, then you might want to notice who I switch out for. So I switched out for Typhlosion right here. And I usually tried to go for stuff that was super effective. In this case, he sent out Balloon and Sharpedo, so I had Fire to take care of Balloon, and Electric for the Sharpedo. Now, some of the trainers are going to have diverse teams, like they'll have, you know, a whole bunch of different types. This guy's got a camera up, which is ground fire, so that'll be incredibly weak to water, or incredibly weak to, shoot, I can't remember what the other one is. And then he's got Fortress, which is actually a bug steel, so that will be incredibly weak to fire, which is why he kept Typhlosion out. Yeah, it's definitely ground type, because Ampharos didn't do any damage right there, because it was an electric move. So it will come down to being a little bit more careful about what you use on certain Pokemon. So I'm actually going to let you guys know what they have in the commentary here. I've actually have a list up that I made while I was actually working on this. So we should be done with that battle now. Was that his last one? Yes, it was. Alright, so trainer number 83 has a Bayonet, a Magneton, a Mantine, and a Whiscash. Mantine will be taken out by a Thunderbolt. Whiscash is part ground, so you can't use that against him. If you want to get rid of Magneton, you can use Fire or Ground. Getting rid of Bayonet is a Ghost type. You can use a Bug or another Ghost. So what I did here was I had Quagsire and Ampharos. Ampharos just for a strong special attack, and then I had Quagsire for the ground moves, and I also had Ampharos out for the Mantine. But I only used Mud Shot here instead of using Earthquake, because you'll notice if you watched the first couple earlier floors, not in this video, but in the ones prior, that I was using Earthquake, but I was using it whenever Umbreon was on the field. That's because Umbreon had a higher defense than Ampharos, and Umbreon wasn't weak to ground moves. If I used it here, then there's a pretty decent chance that Ampharos would lose most of its health, if not, would be completely killed by it. So I made absolutely sure that I didn't have to worry about that, which is why I actually sent out Umbreon right here, so I could use Earthquake safely. While only losing a little bit of health there, I could completely take out the Whiscash for sure, because I didn't believe Mud Shot was going to defeat it. Now, could have I attacked with Ampharos? No, because once again it was a ground type. That's why I had to switch out. I could have made it take an extra turn, and it probably wouldn't have been that big a deal, but I was trying to make it go as fast as I could. So that might explain why I do some of the things I do here. So this guy has a Raichu, a Lombre, an Electrode, and an Altaria. Raichu and Electrode are obviously going to be both weak to ground. They're both electric types. Lombre will be weak to flying. It'll be weak to bug if you have it. Altaria is 4x weak to ice. It'll be weak to electricity. So, I mean, it would be weak to dragon if you had that as well. You're more than welcome to use it. That Electrode, actually, you want to be careful with defeating that, because some of the later ones, I don't know if it was this guy or not, but some of the later Electrodes will have self-destruct, and they will use it. There was one guy that did. It wasn't obviously this one, but there was somebody that had an Electrode, and they did use self-destruct. It did not kill either one of my teammates, but if it's something that you're low level, you might want to watch out for, because then you really don't want to get hit by that. And that takes care of him. So trainer number 85 has, I think this is one of the ones that had, yeah, according to this, he has all water types. So what I did was I actually kept it the same. I had Electric out, obviously weak to water, and then I kept Quagsire in because of Water Absorb. So if they tried to use a water move on him, then he would just absorb it and get HP back if he wasn't at full. But She has Crawdon, Octillery, and she also has a Huntail and a Golduck, so nothing but water types. The Crawdon, I believe, is part dark, if that matters, but if you got electricity, you can absolutely destroy this battle. You should have no issues with this whatsoever. I mean, I only used Yawn right here for the sake of using it, really. There was no real reason to do anything, but I tried using Mud Shot on Octillery a couple times. I may have only had to use it once, but really I was just kind of letting Quagsire do whatever, because Ampharos can completely destroy this fight. So, there's not really much to worry about here. Octazooka is a little bit, not very much, it's a little bit strong, so if you're about the same level, you might want to watch out for it. And obviously make sure you don't have any fire types on the field, because if that's the case, you're going to be in some serious trouble. But other than that, I mean, you should be able to easily beat this one, since she all has one type, and it's all water. Shouldn't be that hard, so electric or grass could completely destroy your team. Next, we have a Blossom, a Gorbis, a Miltank, and an Ampharos. Yes, an opponent Ampharos, not mine. So obviously Blossom would be weak to, being a grass type, would be weak to flying, it would be weak to fire, which is why I used Flamethrower on it right here. What else did she have out? She had a Gorbis, that would obviously be weak to electricity. Miltank is normal, so it would be weak to fighting. It does have a fairly high amount of defense and HP, so I actually ended up hitting it twice on this round. I didn't do that by accident. I knew that it probably was not going to be able to take out, or was not going to be taken out by just Flamethrower by itself, or just Thunderbolt, so I actually attacked it both, with both attacks, so I wouldn't have to worry about it. As for the Ampharos, it's electric, so you can beat it with, you know, Earthquake, Mudshot, whatever. That's why I switched out to Quagsire here. And this is also fortunate having him, because then electric-type moves won't work against him. So you know that if they use an attack, then it won't work, or it's going to go after Typhlosion in this case. And that takes care of her. So, moving on to the next one. Let's see, she's got a Skarmory, a Xatu, a Shiftry, and a Rhydon. You can take out both the Shiftry and the Skarmory with a fire attack. Skarmory's part steel, that's why it would work on it. And you could take out, obviously, the Shiftry because it's grass type. If you want to get rid of the Xatu, that's a flying psychic. So I just used electricity on it, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember what I did for that one. I may have just kept it on the field while I was getting rid of everything else, because the Rhydon might actually be a problem, because it has an ability called Lightning Rod. So if you're going to try to kill Xatu with a Thunderbolt, it's going to have, it's going to absorb the attacks with Lightning Rod, where it'll absorb it, and since it's part ground, it won't take any damage from it. And that's why I kept Quagsire out, actually, was because, obviously, since it's a ground rock, it's not going to like water-type moves at all, so I kept him out in order to get rid of the Rhydon. Once it's gone, you're free to use any electric attacks you want, or if you wanted to, just, you know, get it before Rhydon came out, that works too. Either one, really. And then I just, you know, kept the team I had out, because there was no reason to really switch. Because there's points, whenever you're really high level like this, it's like you can switch if you want the type advantage, but, you know, you could also just use up an extra turn and just not have to worry about switching and just take him out that way. So, this next one has a Donphan and Altaria, another Altaria, a Muck and a Weezing. Obviously, Muck and Weezing are both going to be weak to Psychic, which is why I switched to Espeon, because they're both poison types. Altaria, which we already went over, is really weak to Ice. It'll be weak to Electricity. It's weak to Dragon. Donphan you can get rid of with Surf. Make sure you don't use electric moves on it, because it is ground type. So, other than that, you're pretty much free to use whatever. It is ground, so, you know, Surf, any grass move you have, either of those will work perfectly well. If you want to use Psychic, that works. I don't think it has amazing special defense, so you can get it with pretty much any special attack and probably be okay. And there you have it. That one did not last very long at all. Let's see, what do we have next? Number 89, a Researcher. He has a Credilli, a Ninetales, an Armaldo, and a Heracross. Now, Credilli is a very annoying Pokemon because it's not really weak to that much. What it is weak to, though, by 4x is actually Ice. I don't have an Ice move on me in this one, but Ice would work very well against it. Armaldo is a Bug Rock, so you can use Fire on it for normal damage, or you can use Water on it for normal damage. So it's kind of one of those ones that really isn't weak to anything, or not weak to much, but it's not very strong against anything either. Heracross is a fighting and bug type, so you can use fire moves, you can use flying moves, you can use psychic moves, anything you want really. Heracross is kind of a cool Pokemon, but there is a couple things that it's weak to, and unfortunately I do have those on my team, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And as you can see, it got taken out pretty easily. As for his Ninetales, as you can well expect, it's a fire type, so you can take it out with pretty much whatever you want. That's water, ground, anything like that. It does have a fire absorb. I don't think that's what it's called, is fire absorb, but it can absorb fire attacks, so make sure that you don't hit it with any fire type moves. And yes, I actually did end up losing Quagsire right there because of Giga Drain, because I thought I would be able to take out the Credillion in one round, and I miscalculated that. And so naturally, with Giga Drain making it a 4x weak advantage, obviously it got taken out very quickly. But either way, Psychic obviously took care of the Ninetales, and you can get rid of the Credillion. If you don't have an Ice-type move, you can pretty much just keep blasting it with a lot of stuff till it's gone. Unfortunately, it does have very high special defense and regular defense, so it is kind of annoying to fight one of those if you don't have an Ice move. And moving on to the Area Leader. This is going to be really sad for anybody watching this. He's got a team of 5, and they are all grass types. Now, granted, Ludicolo is water grass, but they're all grass types. Ludicolo, Vileplume, Tropia, Shiftry, and Blossom. He is Trainer 90, and his team is terrible. So Flamethrower on all 5 of them. Even though Ludicolo is part water, you could still take it out very, very easily. What I ended up doing was actually confusing it in the first round, and then just kept using Flamethrower on everything except for Ludicolo, just taking them out one by one, and then just slowly whittling away Ludicolo's HP with Umbreon. But yeah, this fight is pathetic. If there's a Pokemon you have on your team that you want to level up, you can set them alongside your fire type and just let them get the experience from the fire type killing everything. It's really sad. Trainer 90, like, seriously, even the Area 1 leader didn't make that mistake. He had a couple of normals, and he switched it around. Actually, no, he had all normals, but did he have all normals? Now I'm trying to remember. But some of the earlier the area leaders did not have all the same types. Some of them did, yes, but not all of them. And I guarantee you the 100th trainer doesn't have any that are all the same type. But seriously, you think they would have put a little bit better effort into that? It's like after not really difficult battles, but ones that were much more difficult than the first areas, they just give you one that's ridiculously easy. Now, before going on to the final area, make sure you have either a ghost type move to attack something with, a fire type, or a flying type. And a reason for that we will get to in number 99, I believe. As for the first battle in the last area, area 10, we have a Relicanth, a Golem, a Sandslash, and a Cacturn. Golem and Sandslash are obviously both going to be weak to water, so you can take them out that way. Relicanth is actually, as we went over earlier, is a part water and also part rock, so if you attack it with a water move, it will actually do normal damage and will not be very effective. Cacturn is just grass. I think it might be dark, but I'm pretty sure it's just grass. So you can easily take that out with a Flamethrower or a Flying move. I know for a fact both of those types of attacks will be super effective. So doing that will work very well. But yeah, the first trainer here is not that difficult, and they don't get too bad. You'll notice this guy had 259s and 260s. Pretty much from here on, after you get past Trainer 93, they're all going to be level 60. Trainer 93 has one level 59, but the rest are 60. So this is going to be the highest level you see right here, and the Mount Battle area is going to be 60. You're not going to see anything higher than this. So if you can take out the 60s, you've got no problem. Alright, so what do we have for number 92? We have a Golbat, we have a Swalot, a Muck, and a Tentacruel. Golbat and Tentacruel are both not part water, but Golbat is flying and Tentacruel's water, so they can both be taken out by a electric type move, so if you have Thunderbolt, that would work very well. Swalot and Muck are both poison types, so you can easily kill them with a psychic attack, and that's pretty much all you have to do. That will about end the battle, so if you've got a psychic and electric, you can take this one out with no problem whatsoever. And if you get lucky like I did with mine, then you can just target them individually. If you have both poisons show up, you'll just target one of the poisons and then target the same poison with an electric move. Hopefully the electric will go second, so you get to take out the flying type, but you know, if it doesn't, then it's not the end of the world. This battle's still going to be really easy, and there's not much they can throw at you except for maybe a poison status that's really going to mess you up, and even then, You should have 6 Pokemon. They should all be very decent levels by now, and you shouldn't have any problem with this one at all. He does not really pose a threat whatsoever. So moving on to 93. This one actually has a fairly decent team for diversity. Not entirely, but it's better than the one we just saw. We have a Grumpig, a Metang, a Lunatone, and a Kadabra. So, getting rid of Metang is part Steel. You can use Flamethrower on that and take care of it. Lunatone is a Rock type. You can just get rid of it with a Surf or a Grass move, anything like that. Kadabra and Grumpig are both Psychic types, so you can use the Dark move and take both of them out as well. Unfortunately, I got Grumpig and Kadabra sent out at the same time here, so I wasn't able to use the super effective abilities, so, you know, what are you going to do there? But either way, I still got to actually use that. Unfortunately, I was expecting a different Pokemon from Metang, which is why I attacked the, which is why I focused both my attacks on one Pokemon, because I thought it was a different Pokemon, not a Metang, and so I ended up attacking the wrong thing. I did get it the second time, as you can see, but obviously it didn't do that much damage. And I did end up keeping Typhlosion out, even though it wasn't very effective. It was just easier to not bother switching here. Because you pretty much know at some point, whenever it gets down to like 2 versus 6, it's like you can pretty much use whatever you want. If it's an AI player, then you'll probably win. Because like Pokemon gets a lot of hype, like, oh, it's, you know, it's really easy to get through the story mode. Yeah, it's pretty easy because if you're facing a trainer in real life, they're much harder than the computer players, because the computer players can make really dumb mistakes, and I'll even tell you some stupid ones that they've made. They probably did some at least at once in the story. So Trainer 94 has a Castform, a Sunflora, a Vileplume, and a Blossom, which means the battle is practically given to you. Castform will use Sunny Day to make Solar Beam go in one turn for all of their for all of her grass types. The problem with this is it also increases the power of fire type moves, so it makes Flamethrower even stronger than it already was. So what you do if you have a fire type is let Castform survive, like don't attack it in the first round, let it use Sunny Day to make the sunlight get bright. It'll switch into that thing right there, but it's still going to be a normal type. And then after that you can take it out. And then Flamethrower you can use on the rest of them, and it just makes it even stronger than it already was. So if you had any doubts about not killing in one hit, that just makes it even easier than it already was. So there should be no difficulty there. Let's see. We have 95 next. Oh right, this is the one that I keep joking about because it's ridiculously stupid. This is a trainer with nothing but water types. A Mantine, a Seaking, and she also has a Gorbis and a Huntail. Are you serious? This is just like the Trainer 90 fight. It's just fry them with Thunderbolt. None of them even have a part ground type. Mantine is pure water, Seaking's pure water, Gorbis and Huntail are pure water. There's absolutely nothing to stop you from just destroying this team with electric moves. This is going back to the, you know, real trainers, the actual human players, would actually be somewhat difficult, you know, if they were competent and whatnot. But the computer players are just stupid. They make mistakes like this. There's several times in, not this game, but in other Pokemon games where I've been on the brink of dying, and I knew I was going to die next round, and instead of attacking me, they just used, like, a status condition or something, and ended up beating them because they did that. Where they clearly had me. All they had to do was attack, and they were going to win. And then, sure enough, they just don't attack, and they mess it up like an idiot, and then you end up beating them because of that. But this is just a prime example of whenever the AI is being completely stupid, because it's 95 out of 100, and it's all water types. It's just pathetic. Anyway, Trainer 96 has a Mischievous, an Electrode, a Camerupt, and a Ninetales. Camerupt and Ninetales are both fire types, so they're going to be weak to water, or weak to ground, either one. The Electrode would also be weak to ground, so that's another good reason to use it. And to get rid of Mischievous, you can use a Psychic type. So, obviously I put out my Psychic type and my part ground. Psychic to get rid of Mischievous, and ground for pretty much everything else. This guy actually let me beat him in just one round, because I took out his first one right there, as you can tell. He used Explosion to kill his ally. Explosion kills the user, so that takes care of his second and third Pokemon. And so then he sends out Camerupt, but since I just used Mudshot, it just died. So I beat that trainer in one round, even though he had 4 Pokemon, because he killed 2 of his own with Explosion. And you'll notice it didn't take out either one of my team. Did it damage them quite a bit? Yes, but did it kill them? No. So there's another prime example of trainers just not being very intelligent. Anyway, the last couple trainers will be using all of the certain starters from this. So the cool trainer right here has Feraligatr, Typhlosion, and I'm sure you can guess that one of his other ones is Meganium. So he's using the Gold Silver Crystal starters. In addition to those three, he also has an Ampharos and a Breloom. So Ampharos and Typhlosion, you can beat them with ground. Typhlosion you can beat with water. You can get rid of Breloom with fire, and Meganium with fire. You can get rid of Feraligatr with electric. You pretty much know what to do here. This one's kind of the type advantage. Some people aren't very good at remembering the type advantages, but this one's pretty easy to remember what type works for what, because, you know, it's just the fire, water, grass. So it's kind of like the beginning rock, paper, scissors if you've ever played one of the original Pokemon games. Generally, not always, I know Pokemon Yellow is not the case, but generally you're going to be choosing between a grass, a fire, or a water starter. And if that's the case, of course, then you'll have one Pokemon that's going to be strong against yours and one that's going to be weak to yours. So you should know those types pretty well. Ampharos you've already fought in Mount Battle several times, so you already know what it's weak to. Unfortunately, it did take out Typhlosion right there. I thought maybe I'd be able to confuse it and have it not get hit, but of course it didn't work out, so what are you going to do? It's not really that big a deal since he's going to get revived right after the battle, so... I think I only lost Typhlosion twice, and I've already lost Quagsire twice, but I think that's all I lost in the entire thing. I think that's it. The second time I lost Typhlosion was in the 100th battle, I'm pretty sure. But either way, the next trainer that we have coming up, because yeah, we just beat him. Trainer 98 has Blaziken, Sceptile, and Swampert, so she's using the Ruby Sapphire starters, or Ruby Sapphire Emerald. So you can beat, you know, once again, Rock, Paper, Scissors. In addition to that, he has an Altaria and a Glalie. It's funny how they keep using Ampharos and Altaria, which is also on my team. Kind of interesting. But once again, Altaria we fought multiple times. You already know that that's weak to Ice, weak to Electric, weak to Dragon. As for Glalie, it's an Ice type, so you can just bring it down with Fire. And since you're already going to have, hopefully, you're going to have a Fire type, then you should have no problem with that. So yeah, once again, it's kind of cool, I suppose, to have, which is kind of funny because they're cool trainers. It's kind of cool to have like all the starters from one gen, but at the same time, if you're sending out the first two, which both trainers did, by the way, both trainers sent out 2 of the 3, it's pretty obvious that they've got the third one. It's like you saw Swampert and Blaziken, you know the Sceptile's going to be one of his. You know it is. Just because they don't send it out immediately next, that doesn't mean you know it's going to be Sceptile. It would just be too weird not to. And that might make sense for a human trainer to try to fake you out, but if it's an AI trainer, then it's pretty much a given that that's going to happen. Now keep in mind the Swampert, unlike the last one, Swampert is not only just water, it's also water ground. So kind of like Quagsire, it can't be hurt by electric, but if you have grass, then you can tear this thing to shreds. I do not have a grass type, but if you have one, then this is where you would use it. And there's her Glalie, which I'm pretty sure that Glalie is only ice. I think I tried using Psychic here, and it did work, because I was curious as to if it would work or not. Or this might have just... Nope. Okay, it does work. So Glalie, it kind of looks like it'd be a part dark type, but it's not. It's just ice. Because I remember checking that, because I was like, I'm not entirely sure if this is dark or not. I knew Snorunt wasn't, but no, it's only ice. So, Trainer 99, this is the reason that, I did mention this earlier, this is the reason that you want either a Ghost type attack, a Fire type attack, or a Flying type attack. You'll see it in a second here. And for anybody that's played the game, you know, we obviously have a Magneton and a Crawdon here. And we also have Gardevoir, Heracross, and last but not least, Sedinja. For anybody that doesn't know anything about Sedinja, it's got an ability called Wonder Guard, where basically it only has 1 HP. No matter what level it is, it will only have 1 health. But it can only be hurt by super effective attacks, so it has to be something that's weak to. It is a ghost bug. So, Flamethrower, like I did right here, anything's going to kill it in 1 hit if it's super effective. It will always have 1 HP. So you don't have to worry about how strong the attack is. As long as it's super effective, it's going to work. We've already seen Heracross in this video, so there's no need to go over what it's weak to. We've already seen Magneton, already seen Crawdon. Gardevoir is a pure Psychic type, so use Dark against that. It's going to have really good special defense and special attack. Its regular defense, however, is probably not going to be that high, which is probably why it just used Reflect right there. So if you just want to use a physical attack, that would probably work quite well too. As you can see, Swift just almost killed it, so it's not going to be incredibly strong when it comes in the way of regular defense. But generally, it's not designed for defense, it's designed for special attack. So, now you guys will get to see the lovely overview of the stadium that actually looks a lot like a Colosseum that's in one of the later games. But we'll get to that next time when you have live commentary for this. See you guys next time. Alright, now that we've actually got normal commentary here, welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Colosseum, but it's probably not welcome back for you guys. It's welcome back for me because I haven't been commentating the last 99 floors. I sped probably most of them up, but this is actually the first thing I've recorded commentary-wise was floor 100. So anyway, I figured I'd do live commentary for the last floor here. As you can see, we got this massive-looking stadium. Now, if you actually go off here to the right, you got another one of these little treasure chests here, and guess what? It's got the third and final time flute of the game, so I have all three of them. So in case that you weren't watching into the story this far, to get the 3 time flutes, one of them is obviously right there, top of Mount Battle. The other one is given to you in the story by the first area leader, and the third one is obtained by getting the U-disc, which will cause the UFO to go up in the under, and then that's where you can find the third one. So, before we get started here, I'm going to go ahead and show you who I have in the front. I have AR and BT. The reason I put BT was not because of his attacks, it was actually because of his type, because he's flying. Because the one thing I do know about this guy is that every single one of his Pokemon know the attack Earthquake. Otherwise I would have had AR and Mytho, but obviously that would make them both weak to Earthquake. Maybe if my 2 Pokemon that are out, it will be immune to Earthquake, maybe they will not consider using it. Knowing how the AI's played thus far, we've already seen some really stupid teams like Floor 95 having like all water types or something stupid like that. You know, they still might do it, but it's worth a try at least. Let's go and get started here on the final battle of Mount Battle. Now, even though I never actually did it in the 100 floors, you're more than welcome to use items. I'm going over Mount Battle rules, obviously, and yeah, you can just like walk around. It won't start till you talk to him. But you're more than welcome to use items. I did not. I had like hold items, which is why Quagsire got to go first. Sometimes it was the Quick Claw. But you can feel free to like revive your Pokemon during a battle. You're free to use potions, whatever you want to do. I did not do that because I didn't need to. This guy's going to have a team of 6 and they're going to be level 60, so I'm still going to be higher level than he is, but I might end up having to do that if there's something I really need a type advantage to take him down with. Hopefully that won't be the case, but I guess we'll see. Mount Battle Master Somic would like to battle. Yeah, they couldn't really fit his title in there that well. So like I said, a whole bunch of level 60s. They all know the attack Earthquake. We got a Pinsir and a Claydol. So obviously we're going to be using Flamethrower on that Pinsir very shortly. As for the Claydol, I've got Altaria out. I might as well try to put it to sleep with Sing. That might work. We'll give that a shot. If it works, awesome. If not, oh well. Did I actually target the right? Yeah, I did target Pinsir. I want to make sure I don't mess up my targeting here. That should be able to take him out in one hit with no problem. Awesome. 1 down, 5 to go. I remember he has a Gyarados and he has a Flygon. I don't know what else he's got in here. He's got a Crobat. I think he has a Gligar, which is kind of strange, but I think he has one of those. No, they're still going to use Earthquake. The jerks. That didn't do as much as I thought it was going to. Alright, let's get rid of that Crobat. I'm going to try to put this one to sleep again. That Crobat's going to be really fast. It's about the only thing it's got going for it. Please don't poison me. Okay, good. He got poisoned once in Mount Battle. Really, if you were watching it intensively, the only Pokemon that I actually lost in the thing was I lost Quagsire, I think twice. Once on floor 80 and once in like the 90s, and then I lost AR once. I mostly lost Quagsire because of the 4X weakness to grass, but you know, what are you going to do about that? Alright, Claydol's asleep now. Hopefully it'll stay asleep for a little while, because I don't want it doing any more Earthquake attacks. The only reason I put it to sleep is because I really didn't have anything type-wise that would work very well against this. So Gligar is a flying ground, I remember that much. Let's just go ahead and see if we can't just, like, destroy it with attacks. That may not work, but if it does, awesome. AR and BT both have pretty decent speed, so there's a pretty good chance I can go first. Oh wow, it actually got killed in one hit. I didn't think that was going to happen. So he's got Gyarados and Flygon left. I think that's what he has. Yeah, there's his Flygon. This would be the moment where I wish I had taught Altaria Ice Beam, but that's in the Poke Coupon thing, which we'll go over as soon as I'm done with this battle. Luckily I have Dragon Breath, but Ice Beam would be more effective because this is actually a Dragon Ground, for those of you that don't know. So it would actually be 4x weak to Ice. That's why I would say, you know, it'd be good to have that. I mean, Altaria is also 4x weak to Ice because Flying is weak to Ice, but, you know, what are you going to do? So Claydol's still asleep, Flygon will be out this turn, then we'll have Gyarados to take care of, which is a Water Flying, so we can destroy it with an Electric attack if I lose AR. So I'm probably actually going to go for that Claydol now. I guess it depends on if it wakes up or not. He's actually not providing as much trouble as I thought he was going to. I mean, I knew I was a higher level than he was, but I figured, you know, he was going to have something really irritating. The fact that he knew Earthquake all over the place, but I guess since I threw out Altaria, that wasn't too bad. Yeah, he woke up, alright. Which means he's going to use Earthquake. So now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to send out Mytho here. I'm going to try to put him back to sleep. If I can't, then oh well. But I can get rid of the Gyarados with Ampharos for sure. Because it's going to be 4x weak to him. So as long as I get to go first, or let me rephrase that. As long as Ampharos gets to go before Claydol, then he will definitely die this round. Let's go ahead and try to put you back to sleep. Wow, it actually worked. I didn't do this a lot in Mount Battle, but if you're really having trouble with, like, if there's one Pokemon that's kind of giving you trouble in the field and you don't feel like switching out, that is pretty much what you would do. You try to paralyze them, confuse them, put them to sleep. Just do something to where they kind of takes them out of the battle for a little bit, and then take care of the rest of their team and come back when they're the only one left. So now that Claydol's the last one standing, I'm going to switch back out for, I guess, Quagsire with Surf. You can just use Dragon Breath. So I lost one, that's not too bad. If I recall, Chogoconor lost a lot more, but his team might have been lower level whenever he tackled Mount Battle. I decided to save it for, like, post-game. One of the last things I did, so. I'm still not entirely certain what I'm going to do when it comes to, like, Colosseum Mode. First of all, it's going to be, I'll ask you guys at the end if you want to see it or not, but if you do want to see it, I'm probably going to get everybody up to 100, just in case there's, like, one of those level caps where it takes the highest level of your Pokemon, and that's what all the levels of, that's what, like, what everybody else's level is in Colosseum Mode. I don't know, but if that's the case, then I need to get them all to 100 so I just don't have to worry about level so much as types and moves, because level would be just one more thing to worry about. And there you have it. Alright, player defeated Mount Battlemaster Somek. Stupendous! It's fantastic. I say fantastic. You had to be to defeat me. I'd like you to have this. Got your 1,200 Poke Coupons. That's the highest you can get from a group of 10. Congratulations, but don't be content with this. Don't neglect your training. Would you like to have our Aber teleport you back to the registry? Well, yeah. There's nothing else you can do here once you get to 100. There's no reason unless you want to walk all the way down. So anyway, we have taken care of that with all the coupons I amassed from both off-screening the getting ready to purify, as well as what we just did right there. I've got 11,000 points, which should be able to get me at least a couple teams I want. I want that Ice Beam really badly. So, we can exchange our Poke Coupons right here. As you can see, we've got some stuff. Here are actually all the TMs that we have left. Well, not that we have left, but most of the ones we have left. I think these are the rest of them, really. That we can pick up right now, which would be very nice. I'm not going to get them all, because I don't think I have enough points. That'd be 4, 8. I could get 2 of them. Well, no, I could get the 1,500 one, but I'm probably not going to. There's not really any reason to. Either way, I'll definitely be picking up Ice Beam. So as you can probably guess, these are all pretty obvious what they do whenever you just read the thing. These are kind of out of order for some reason. Anyway, that one's Thunderbolt, obviously. Powerful Electric Attack. 13, that is Ice Beam. That's the one I want. 29 is Psychic. 35, yeah, that's Flamethrower. What's 32? Oh, that's a double team. That's got to be double team. And then you've got the different berries right here. You have the leftovers item, which gradually restores HP in battle. Got a mental herb. I know it's herb, but I like saying herb. It's a running joke in my group of friends anyway. The focus band, which I believe I actually bought this and gave it to Altaria. Never came in handy because it never fainted, but you know, I think I have it on Altaria. White herb, a quick claw, which I gave to Quagsire, a bright powder, King's Rock, scope lens, choice bands. There's some other stuff like down here that's pretty good, but it's pretty expensive, so I'm not gonna buy any of these because that would waste almost all my points. I'd much rather have Ice Beam right now, and I'll probably have to buy it twice, unfortunately, because I kind of want to give it to 2 people, but I'm definitely gonna buy it once right now. I definitely want that. Thank you. Not at the moment. So I'd just like to point out really quickly, all the TMs that you can get in the game, I'm just going to show them right now. We have 1 and 2, 3 and 4 are not accessible in this game. Other than the prize list right here, if you see any number that's not there, it means that you can't access it in the game. So 3 and 4 not accessible, here's 5, 6, and 7. 8, 9 cannot be gotten. There's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21 is not accessible, I don't believe. 22, 3, 24 is Thunderbolt, which is actually on this prize list, so I don't have it, but you know where it is. 24, 25, 26, 7, 28, and 9 are... 29 is Psychic, 28 cannot be gotten in the game. There's 31, 32 is the double team that's at this counter, 33, 35 is at the counter, Flamethrower, 34 is not accessible, 36, 7, 8, 39 is not accessible, 40 is not accessible, 40, 41... 42 and 3 are not accessible. 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 50 is not accessible either. So, everything that I have, plus what is at the counter, is everything you can obtain for TMs. Some of these you can only get once, some of them you can get multiple copies of, so you need to be very careful about who you teach what to. So, what I'm going to also be doing, if you guys want to see Colosseum Mode, is I'll probably add, like, some fighting moves, so I'll probably add Focus Punch, I'll probably get Dragon Claw on there. I'll just decide what I want to do with my moves as well. So, I'll be adding those if you guys want to see Colosseum Mode, so go ahead and let me know now if you do want to see it. If you don't want to see it, or if you don't care, I'll probably show it anyway, knowing me. Actually, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Forget what I just said. I'm going to show it anyway, because I have never played Colosseum Mode, so I'm actually really curious to see what it's like. Dude, what are you doing? Get away from me. You're so creepy, dude. Go talk to that guy. Dude, get away from me. What's wrong with you? Anyway. So, yes. That's pretty much all I wanted to show for Map Battle. I do have it all done. So, up next, we're going to have me purifying all the Pokemon. Really quickly, I'm going to go into my item storage here. These 3 right here, if you look at their summary for Raikou and all the other ones, I did not get these 3 ready. I'm going to use the Time Flutes on these 3 because I know for a fact Tyranitar and Metagross take the most time. Other than those 2, the legendary dogs are pretty even, so Raikou was the last one we caught, so that was the one that I, you know, didn't work on. The rest of them are over in the other boxes, like box 2, as you can see if I go to the summary, they're all on Undo the Final Locks, and then the rest of them are all in this box right here, but they are all ready to be purified, so I'll be showing that next, but I'm just going to show the actual purification. I'm not going to, like, have all the spots where I go out. I'm going to take the Nugget and Metal Coat off of Metagross. I took all the items off of these guys and put them in storage. Most of the items that they have, other than the Nugget, are going to be something like raise the power of whatever type move. So this one's probably Steel. I think Mischievous had Dark or Ghost. Crocodile had Water, just stuff like that. So up next will be me purifying everything, which I might actually show that first. I'm not sure. It makes sense to just show it after. But either way, I will see you guys in the Colosseum Mode or the purification of the Pokemon. It just kind of depends on how the timer goes, since I'm going to speed a lot of the junk up. I'm not exactly sure if this is the end of the video or not, but anyway, I will see you guys for whatever turns out to be next. There is one other thing I want to show before I end this off. I'm assuming that I actually got it. If you tackle Mount Battle from start to finish without stopping, I believe your Pokemon get a medal, or not a medal, you get a ribbon for that. Well, maybe not. You may have to go back and do it again after you've beaten it. I'm not entirely sure. But either way, I think that might be what it is, because clearing all difficulties means being purified. So I believe if you beat it and then go through the entire thing again from start to finish and beat it again, then you get a ribbon. The levels of the Pokemon will not change because you beat level 100. They're all going to be the same. Same Pokemon, same everything. So, with that, goodbye. I will see you for whatever I decide to record next. I bid you adieu.